we were been on this tangent in the last few weeks of self-improvement. So like the reason why did I tell you the reason why I shaved my beard? Did I tell you what happened?
No, you did, but it
So-
was not about self improvement.
Oh, I saw this guy who was just bodybuilder type, completely ripped muscle kind of thing, and he was wearing really tight clothes to accentuate his body. And he had really skinny jeans on. He had like these really expensive shoes, and he had like that shaved beard. You know, where it's really trimmed short, but it's real dark, and it's just like perfectly lined. And it almost looked like he had eyeliner on too. And he had this beautiful fade in his hair, and he had a little earring and fake and baked tan. And the guy just put a lot of freaking effort into his looks.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm like completely judging the guy. It's just like, it's like, oh my God, did you spend so much time, so much money, and all you care about is what you look like? You're probably a very shallow piece of garbage of a human, you know? And then this little voice kind of goes in my head, says, "Yeah, why do you have a beard?" And
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and it wasn't my thought. It was just a thought that came in my head. It's like, well, why do you have a beard? I know why I have a beard. I have it because I have a double chin that I like to hide, and I have big lips and a small chin, and I look goofy without a beard.
I look very goofy without a beard.
Yeah, so
Children run from me. It's probably a good thing.
Santa Claus. So yeah, so it's like, isn't my beard the same thing as vanity? Is like I am literally only grow my beard out, trim it, keep oil in it, that kind of thing, because it's a pride issue where I feel like I look better with the beard. And so I was like, beard's got to go. It's got to go until I accept my face, as my face is what it is. Because I was judging this guy for doing everything he could to make himself look good in his eyes, and yet I did the same thing on a smaller scale.
Right.
But is it any different? Because there really is no scale on sin or pride or whatever. A little bit is just as bad as a lot of bit, you know.
I mean, he's probably trying to get a wife. You've already got one. You're done.
True. Yeah, I don't have to try no more.
He's like, I gotta get me a woman.
Yeah, I mean it's or a lot of women. You know, he might want a lot of women. For all I know. I have no idea what his reason was, but all I know is I was judging him based on his outward looks, his whole personality,
right?
And I felt very convicted. And then when that whole why do you have a beard thing, I was like, well, beard's gonna go. So I've been on this route where I find things that I deem I'm lacking in.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Right. So
welcome to my world.
Well, one of the things that my wife points out very often is that I have a problem with pride. I have a lot of pride. So like if you make fun of me and you hurt my feelings, I will want to rip off your face. You know,
really?
I'll blow my temper quick.
I didn't know that.
I hide it really well.
Yeah.
I just, grinning, but inside I'm plotting your death.
Good times.
Yeah, it's bad. And like if I do something, if I can't put the time and energy to make it perfect, I'll have nothing to do with it. I won't do it. It'll just sit there undone. I don't have the time and energy to do it right, so therefore I won't do it at all.
Well, I do have a perfectionist side to me that I like it to be done correctly. That's why half of these videos.
But for me, it's like stupid stuff like a freaking rabbit crib. Like all it does is hold a rabbit off the ground,
right,
in a cage. It's just like build it. Like I need 1x4s. I need these screws. I need these hinges. It's like,
your wife would MacGyver that in a half a day.
It's like freaking dental floss.
Yeah,
we got
exactly.
that. Yeah, we got that. Paper plates done. Dental floss and paper plates. That rabbit's got a cage. So, anyways, I'm on this route, and one of the things I've been reading through the New Testament rapidly. I'm staying out of the Gospels.
Okay.
And going mostly through from Romans to John, 1st, 2nd, 3rd John. Just that part of the Bible. I'm leaving out the first 4 Gospels and Revelations, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm reading it rapidly, multiple times, try to encompass what Christians were like during the apostles' time period.
Okay.
After Jesus' resurrection. And the wife has been getting phone calls from people that she knows that are just, they're not improving in their Christian lives. They spend all this time in church and they're just in the same spot as they were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
There's no improvement.
That's all the churches around here.
That's what got me going on this.
Yeah.
So there's this book, and I'm halfway through it, and it's called Revolution, and it's written by a guy who wrote another book called Tale of Three Kings. Super fabulous book. If it's a very easy, fast read, Tale of Three Kings. The basic gist of the book was there's three different kings that he describes in the book there in the Bible, and one of them is King David, and how he never goes against Saul. He's like, let God take care of Saul, and he has many opportunities to kill Saul, but he doesn't ever take it. And there's many times that Saul tries to kill David, but he never retaliates.
Okay.
Right? It's just that kind of a thing, like Tale of Three Kings. Well, this guy wrote another book, and it's called, see if you can find the, because I think it's called Revolution. So, Gene Edwards. So look up books by Gene Edwards. You can put Gene Edwards and put Revolution in there, and I think it's called Revolution. But he wrote a book based on what the early church was like during the time of the apostles. Because you know how they're doing. They weren't welcome in the synagogues because they weren't Jews anymore. I mean, they were Jews still, but you know they couldn't go into the synagogue and teach and learn because you know those Jews killed Jesus, kind of a thing.
Okay.
Did you find it?
I couldn't remember what it was.
Gene Edwards. I think it's called Revolutions.
Revolutions.
Or Revolution, I should say. There, yeah. Revolution, Story of the Early Church. So I'm halfway through this book, and it basically tells about what the early church was like, people-wise, culture-wise, environment-wise, all that stuff. And one thing that really stands out is that they were different than everybody else. They started out one way, and then they heard the gospel and became a completely new way. So Jesus never tells anybody to tithe 10%.
Correct.
He says, give what you can. Give all that you can.
Yeah, the
He says,
10%
give
comes
all
from Genesis.
that you can. So these people did that. They sold everything they had and gave all that they could to the disciples and said, this is where the needs are. This is where the money's going to go. They lived in groups and houses, 20, 30, 40 people in a house, and they rejoiced for it. There was people that became disciples during after Passover. You know, when the disciples first get filled with the Holy Spirit on Passover, everyone's like, when they go out and they start talking, like, and the people are like, aren't these men from Galilee? How are they speaking my language?
Right.
Well, during that time, there's Jews from 50 different countries all assembling into Jerusalem for that annual Passover.
Right. Yeah.
The Feast of First Fruits, that whole thing.
Yeah.
So you had people who had been traveling for somewhere upwards of 30 days to get there just for this time. They come from a completely different country. They stayed, and they sent news back to their homeland to sell everything and bring me the money. Who does that? Who hears from a disciple about what a man does that you've never met?
Yeah.
Right? You probably heard about it because it was big news. The guy rose from the dead and all that stuff. But that was 40 days previous. You know, Jesus spent like 40 days with his disciples before he left to heaven. So these people are showing up from completely different countries, from all over the place,
right,
speaking different languages and all that stuff. And the moment that they have is with the disciples coming out speaking their language when they don't even know their language. He's like, aren't these men from Galilee? How do they know my language? I mean, we're talking about cultures and people who don't look nothing alike.
Right.
They don't eat the same food. They don't wear the same clothes. They don't speak the same language.
Yeah.
From many different places. And they sell everything. They decide to live together. There was 30,000 Christians in Jerusalem.
That's a huge
starting from then.
Yeah.
They would meet under Solomon's tent, which is the back portion of the temple.
Okay.
It had a big awning, and anybody could pretty much use it. It was a place where people could gather and just hang out.
Yeah.
Right? Solomon's tent. They would hang out there and worship God out in the open because they weren't welcome in the synagogues.
Yeah.
They showed up there in Jerusalem as Jews to practice Judaism, met the apostles, had a moment with God, and gave all of it up. They gave up their personal possessions. They didn't care about their future.
That's interesting. Because Christ fought so hard to convince people of that, to show people the importance of that and what he was trying to say about it all.
And when Jesus said, give all that you can, these people said, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't a question. It was, he is real. What he taught was real. And this is the way.
Right.
Now you go 2,000 years in the future, and here we are. Where are the Christians now?
Is that just an American cultural thing? I mean, I've been in homes in other countries that they didn't have anything. Their whole thing was family, food, socializing, that kind of a deal.
Yeah.
That may change a bit now just because the internet's that much bigger, but that was a main thing was
these people found jobs in Jerusalem and in the scattering parts, and they would travel for a long ways just to work a job.
Yeah.
Just so they could stay in Jerusalem and keep spreading the word of God. They weren't about proselytizing. Like, they did not go around door to door, knocking on doors saying, hey, did you hear about Jesus? Do you know what he did? That's not what they did. What they did is they hung out together and read. They'd go through and learn, especially for women. It was the first time where women were included in reading the Torah.
Yeah.
They would read all these old passages, and they were trying to find all the prophecies that he fulfilled, and they were having fun doing it.
Yeah,
right?
That's cool.
And then they would work, they'd get together, and they'd buy each other food. And if you couldn't work, it was no big deal. You know, we're going to take care of you. We're all family kind of thing. And then other people would see them, like, what are you guys doing? And they tell them, well, we're followers of Jesus. Who's that? Let me tell you. And they just exploded in numbers.
Well, then they ended up getting chased off because
persecution came.
Persecution came and pushed them all off.
But
that just spreads the word further. That just spreads the word further.
The church in Iran right now is exploding.
It's huge right now. It's so awesome how much that's growing. And they're going door to door knocking on doors because that's the only way they can.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can't advertise. They can't speak out. So they're just knocking on doors and saying, hey.
In Jerusalem, they couldn't do it either.
Yeah, that's true too.
In Jerusalem, you knock on the wrong door, and all of a sudden you got Pharisees and actually trying to stone you.
Yeah, to this day, they despise anybody who.
Yeah, you go there this very day and try to preach Jesus. They'll still stone you today.
Yeah, they'll get you off the streets quick.
I watched the lady get thumped in the head with rocks.
Yeah.
Of course, she was being an idiot, though.
I saw, I've seen stupid stuff, but I've seen cops there that just pull the people away. Hey, there's areas that you can't read the Bible that are up by the temples and all. You can't read Scripture.
On
New
Sabbath.
Testament Scripture. Yeah,
on Sabbath you can.
No, you can't read New Testament Scripture at all, period. Yeah.
Oh, it's changed. It used to be that you couldn't pray or read any of the New Testament on Sabbath. You couldn't go into the old parts of Jerusalem
So maybe
and preach or talk about Jesus on Sabbath.
Okay.
Any other day they'd tolerate it, but Sabbath, no.
Interesting.
If you go to the Western Wall, they don't tolerate it ever. Of course, Jews aren't even allowed to go to the Western Wall every single day, because Muslims are in control of it. So.
Yeah.
But that being said.
Go ahead, yeah.
These people that my wife talks to and that I've talked to, they don't improve in their Christian walk. They are completely satisfied with where they're at.
Satisfied or stagnant?
They have to be satisfied. You can't be stagnant in a moving river. Because God's not stagnant.
Are they in a moving river though, or are they?
If you're a believer,
are they trying to grow?
Well, I'm just saying the Holy Spirit convicts all of us.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to get what their thinking is, like where they're.
They don't know there's a problem.
Okay.
They think they're fine in a moving river and not moving.
That's very Americanized Christianity.
Yeah, they don't know there's a problem. There's no one telling them. There's no one telling them that they should watch what they have on TV. There's no one telling them to turn the TV off.
Yeah.
There's no one telling them that you're not supposed to lie. Ever.
It's interesting that people don't know the basics, fundamentals.
You ever notice that in the Bible, Jesus does a miracle, heals somebody or whatever, and he tells them, go and sin no more? Not go sin less. Not go improve yourself a little bit. Hey, try to do better. You know, he tells the prostitute, go and sin no more. He tells the paralytic, go and sin no more. Pick up your mat, your sins are forgiven. So it's like we've lost that teaching in our church that it is possible for you to conquer a sin. You're not going to be sinless. You're not perfect. You're not
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Correct.
But you will sin less. You should sin less than you did 10 years ago when you were first Christian, or 20 years
You
ago,
should
or
see
30 years
personal
ago.
growth. Yeah.
Yes. If you care.
Yeah.
Now, you could totally ignore the Holy Spirit 100% and not improve. And eventually he'll get tired of whispering to you and he'll stop.
Correct.
And
I've
then
heard
you'll
that.
start wondering, why is all this bad crap happening to me?
Interesting.
Why am I depressed? Why is nothing working out? And it's just, I'm aggravated with people, with Christians. I'm aggravated with Christians.
Yeah. Non-Christians, it's not. Yeah.
You have a book that tells you everything you know.
Forget about it. I'm an American. I'm not going to read it. I'm
One-
going to watch The Chosen.
He only. I do like that show for what it is. I do not. If you go into it thinking of a historical recreation, you're going to be sorely disappointed. But if you go into it thinking what it could have been like, because you'll learn a lot of cultural stuff that you don't get from reading the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of cultural things that you'll pick up, a lot of cool little things here and there. They have one episode. I haven't seen.
I
the
mean to get
latest
you on a
season,
chosen tangent, but
they have these ridiculous things that the disciples never had to attend with, but me and you do,
yeah.
and so they threw it in the show for that reason. It's like, what would the
Unnecessary.
disciples have to have? What would they have? How would they have dealt with a miscarriage? Nowhere in the Bible does it say any disciples' wives ever had a miscarriage, but it's in the movie Chosen, because that does happen to us.
Yeah.
And this is how you might want to deal with it. So I like the show for that. If you know going into the show that this show is not about a historical recreation, this is about, what if? So I like it for that. Yeah. But otherwise, and then anything that has Jesus in it, I'll root for.
Yeah, I mean they're trying. The actors are not at all.
Yeah.
They've never opened a Bible themselves. They're not saved.
Most of them are.
There's a huge everything interview wise I've seen that you could tell blatantly no.
Oh really?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
They just grab good actors. What you need.
The guy
good
who
actors.
plays Jesus is Catholic, so you can
take that whatever you want to.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with pastors. I'm frustrated with elders and deacons, and I'm frustrated with Christians in general, because I hear these people. If you listen to them talk, they sound no different than an unsaved person.
Yeah.
No different. They watch the same crap on TV.
Right.
They regurgitate that crap to each other. They love drama. They love gossiping. They can't help themselves but lie. And they cuss like a sailor. They're addicted to smoking. They're addicted to drinking. They're addicted to porn. I mean, come on. When are you going to grow up?
The amount of
You don't need to be suffering these things.
yeah.
I mean, it's like having an inept army.
But here's the thing: when we graduated from Bible University, it made all these preachers. They had a massive divorce rate.
Yeah.
They had a massive falling out of all of their pastors. They went in all hardcore gung ho, realized, hey, there's only 2 people a week coming. I can't make ends meet now. I have to get a second, third job or whatever. They found them in the bars when they couldn't find them. Like, these are all the stories that would come up that I was hearing. And so I'm thinking that even from that level of it, the question really is, okay, so we know what we're in situational wise. We know as a society. I can only lead on America. In Japan, they worshipped their family religions and then Christ, and that was something that they just couldn't separate because it was the culture, and it was something the pastor struggled with. Something we don't really think about. And here, you're either a Catholic or you're nothing. Now, Catholics, of course, could do whatever they want to. You're either you're a Jew or you're a Muslim or whatever. That's it. You're not going to be like, well, I have this religion and then I follow that religion, kind of a deal. For the most part, I haven't experienced much of that here. However, Catholics can do whatever they want to.
Hippies are
play.
about the only ones that would. I'm kind of a Hindu,
the
Bushido,
right?
Buddhist,
Anybody who follows the Hindi Buddhist thing can. Yeah.
Like and most people who are like adopting
it.
everything, they're just Buddhism.
Yeah.
I'm Buddhist.
Hindi and Buddhism adopt all the gods. Yeah, that kind of thing. But we don't really have, like I say, so the idea here is, well, one, we can only focus on our county, on our area where we're at. What's the fix all? What's the way forward? What are we doing for people who don't want change? If you're talking about people who are like, oh, I'm fine with where I am, they obviously don't want to change.
Get out of my church.
You have to leave them to their own devices.
I don't need you here. That was one of the biggest things I learned reading this New Testament. They literally said, if the person in your congregation still does these sins and you confront them in front of the church and they don't stop, kick them out.
That is the normal last straw of it. I don't think anybody does that these days anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you take the New Testament church, what they teach in the New Testament, which is why I'm like reading this book, and like this Revolution book, I'm just like, but that's in there? And I'm like flipping it like, oh my gosh, it's in there plain as day.
Yeah.
If they do not stop having sexual immorality, kick them out. You're not here to suffer God.
Galatians,
and God's not here to suffer you.
I think Galatians talks about that.
It's like, what? Romans, it's all through Romans too.
Yeah, Romans.
It's just like, I
might be thinking of Romans.
If you are in church leadership, you're the number one problem. If you're not preaching what the New Testament actually says, you are the problem. For example, church I went to years back, there was a older couple in the church. Husband played the drums, wife was just in the congregation, whatever. His wife tells him, I want an addition, we need more space in our house, blah blah blah. So this guy who works night shift, he works really hard, he hires a handyman to build an addition to his house. She ends up having an affair with that handyman.
What?
Runs away with him.
That really happens?
Yes. Ran away with him. Didn't tell nobody. She was gone for 2 weeks. No one heard from her. He's calling cops like, my wife is missing. The handyman murdered her because he ain't come back, that kind of thing. Of course, they were nice enough to wait until he finished the addition before they took off. She brings this new man back to our church. She's not chastised once. Her husband plays the drums on the worship team.
Nobody talked to her.
No, I'm sure people talked to her, but they coddled her and they're like, "Oh, you don't know how he treats me and blah blah. He's really mean." It's like he's tired of your bull crap.
Yeah,
because she's a basket case, right? And her husband gets left the wayside. Nobody counsels him. Nobody reassures him that, hey, you're in this church and she's not.
Well,
nobody.
That church you went to wasn't a real church. I'm sorry to say.
It was a Pentecostal church.
It was a piece of crap.
So
it was inherited by an inherited.
It's no different than any other church in the same.
No,
this is what churches do.
I feel like the other one we went to, after that, something could have happened from that. Maybe.
I doubt it.
I think so.
I don't know.
There's some old timers in there that'll thump some heads.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is that she got married she got divorced that guy, married this new guy, and now they go to that church.
Wow.
And then her ex-husband, left church, never went back. Can you imagine how much church hurt that guy has?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, seriously, the blatant sinfulness. I mean, we're not talking about she kissed a guy.
That's the pastor's fault. That's the board's fault.
Church leadership is number one problem.
Church leadership's fault. So, okay.
You should know better.
So maybe we need to start a series on church leadership and expectations and what's... I mean, of course, if you've just got nobody's to...
Is it in the Bible? Do that. Yeah. Is it in the New Testament somewhere? Do that.
Who's going to read it? Who's going to... And again, who's going to uphold it?
Pastors are supposed to do... I get that there's congregations or there's people in congregations who can't read the Bible. I get it. I understand. Even though there's a New Living Translation out there that's very simple to read, I get that there's people out there who are not book readers, especially now this day and age.
Yeah, the upcoming
generation. Everything's on audiobook or whatever, and they can even do audiobook sometimes. Or they find it really dull because they're not Bible nerds. I get that. They still need teaching.
Right.
And that's one of the things I'm learning from this book is that these people get together and they would just talk about it. They would just discuss it. And then they didn't even change houses. They literally said, "Oh yeah, I'm with this group." Yeah, I'm with this group. I'm with these people. They didn't change houses and switch it up. Like, this is my core. And they held each other up. And they added people in. And if somebody was acting amok, they cast them out.
I mean, that could be a nice little church group in itself. Like, it would be how a church should work, or a home church kind of concept.
Closest thing you can get to is a small group, maybe.
Yeah, like a home church.
And I'm not the first person willing to like open up my house to a house because people nowadays in America who are attracted to house churches are weird. They're just weird little people.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm weird enough.
I say there's like us. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, someone's like, yeah, I have a house church. Come on, you want to come to my house? I'm like, no, I don't, because your house is probably creepy.
Is it outside in the woods
And
somewhere?
what if I have
deep
to?
in...
What if I have to take a poo? I
Yeah.
can't take a poo in your bathroom.
No, I'm not.
Lord
gonna
knows
wreck
what I'll find in there.
I'm not gonna wreck your bathroom.
Yeah,
for
and
you.
only Lord knows what you'll find after I leave. So, yeah, I get house churches are weird and creepy. We need to fix church. Western culture cannot operate like they did in Jesus' time. We can't sell everything that we have and hang out with each other.
Is this only in America?
Is what only in America.
This failing church like this.
Well,
I know,
it
obviously,
failed
you can
England
look
years
at
ago.
England. I know you can look at like Catholic areas, heavily Catholic areas. Yeah, they failed because they can't keep up their minds with what they want to do.
Italy,
They're
the
all
Catholic-
Islamic now. I'm sorry.
Catholic churches are closing in Italy.
If you're a Catholic, you're Islamic now. I'm sorry. You have to follow Islam because you were told to.
Really?
No, the Pope knelt down and gave him a whole prayer area and everything. Yeah. Yeah, he's already bowed to Islam. So,
Really?
oh, yeah, and they have to do what their Pope says because they don't worship or follow God. I mean, they worship.
Pope
don't
is
follow
God.
There you
He's
go.
God in
So
the
they have
flesh.
to now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Catholicism was fallen.
So
it was
Catholicism fell
fallen from its
a long time
inception,
ago.
really.
But again, like if you look at the
It's always
churches,
been evil.
if you look at the churches in Africa, they're strong now. They're very strong now. They're coming up stronger. Iran, like we had just spoken about, now they're going to be more underground.
China.
Like North Korea and China, they'll be underground.
Did you hear about Little Jerusalem in China? Have I ever tell you that story?
Yeah, vaguely remember. Go ahead.
There's whenever I think of China, I always think of this first. There's a town that's nicknamed Little Jerusalem in China. I don't know the real name
I
of
vaguely
the town.
remember this.
It has 400 people in the town. It's very small. At 4 a.m, the entire town meets together in different rice fields. They pick a different rice field every day because they don't want the soldiers to see them,
Right.
and they pray. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I remember this.
Can you imagine 400 people getting together every morning at 4 a.m. to pray? And they're praying not for freedom. They don't want freedom. They want Christ to spread. And if you talk to the pastors in China, the underground pastors, they don't want to be like Americans. They don't want freedom like America has, because they see what Christianity is like in America. They want real Christianity.
Yeah.
They don't want the American
Yeah, and they'll turn it
Christians.
down in a heartbeat. Like,
Yeah,
no,
they don't
we're
want.
good.
They're not looking for freedom.
Yeah.
They're also not looking for persecution. They're just looking to spread the gospel.
I think we had brought this up and talked about this a while back, but I can't find it right now.
What's that?
We have brought up some images of the town, the little Jerusalem town.
No, yeah.
It's called Wanju.
So that's my tangent. I'm just kind of tired of Christians not willing to do the sacrifice that it's going to take to follow Christ.
Okay.
If you are sinning on a regular basis without conviction, without even trying, you're not saved.
Okay.
Because you don't have any fruits to show.
Without conviction, yeah.
Everything about judging people, the only thing we have in the Bible is judge them by their fruits. A bad tree cannot produce good fruit. And every bad tree that's listed in the New Testament gets tossed into the fire and is destroyed. There is no saving the bad tree. There's no
the tree is
grafting
removed.
to a bad tree.
Yeah.
None of that. It's always find a good tree and graft to it.
Yeah. Correct.
If
That's scripture.
if you're everything in your life is going wrong and you sin without recourse, like you just don't care,
Right.
you're not saved.
Yeah, I can see that.
You're just
Absolutely.
not. And
Yeah.
that's like a third.
If there's no
third of our church
strive
is
to
that
be
way.
better, if there's no striving to be better, if there's no striving to change your correct course.
Yeah. And we're not looking for perfection. You can't achieve perfection.
You know, every
But
church
instead
that I've
of
been
sinning
to
50
is-
times a day, it should be down to 5. You know, it's like it should be that. It should be those spontaneous. I got angry and said this. Okay, I get it. Everybody does that. Somebody cuts you off, you give them the bird. I get it. But somebody who does it on a rate, like that's just like the F word is your descriptive word for everything, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's funny because the church that I'm going to pretend to go to, I go there.
You pretend to go to.
I've gone there. I missed last Sunday because I gotten up late and was doing dumb stuff. And I was like, oh, wait. I was like working and doing things. So I get up at 5 a.m. and start doing stuff. Then I end up falling asleep and getting up later and lost track of time. So I didn't go. But I'm trying to go to that one. It's a tiny church, like 10 people in it. But the pastor is like, 80 years old, and it's a Spitfire type. We grew up in a church where it was like, I was just thinking about this today. We grew up in church where it was like, you and your wife get into an argument, yell at each other, you storm out of the house, say a few cuss words, then get hit by a car on the street and die, you go to hell. That's how we grew up. Like, there was no mercy. There was no wavering anything. Like, that was literally how we grew up. And I remember that because that was what Goodrich had mentioned. This is his story, actually, him saying it. He's like, this is how I was raised. It's like, that's exactly how we were raised. We were hellfire and brimstone every Sunday. It was just like, come on,
Yeah.
And, it's the church that he said a few things the last Sunday previous that I was there. And what I've started to do is, because I know I struggle with it, I've been forcing myself to just take notes. So even if I don't hear what he says, I'm writing down what he says. And I want to do what's called regurgitating. And I want to do a series where I just re-preach it. This is the sermon from last week. We're going to go through it. And I've come up with some really neat stuff that, he was thinking on a different line and I was thinking on a different line kind of deal. And so I'm like, this could be something. Of course, I have to go to do so.
Maybe they have it online.
They play tambourines, dude. I can't do tambourines.
Oh, gosh,
so
tambourines. It's got to be a Pentecostal church then.
Is a church of God that speaks in tongues and lives along the mindset
There's only
of...
two churches that use tambourines. Pentecostal church and like a predominantly African-American church.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I can see that because a lot of Baptist churches have them. A lot of Baptist
Because even
churches
like missionary Baptists, like we don't use tambourines. They're the devil. We acapella only.
They are of the devil, though. They're so evil.
We're the Church of Christ. We
And
don't
the
use those
dude
scriptures.
banging on it's deaf as can be. So he's like, I can't hear this thing. It's too faulty. He's like slamming it on pews and stuff to make it rise up.
I get having churches that are full of old people. I'd hate to be the pastor of that church because they don't like the same music that young people like. The newer generation.
You're not going to attract the younger generation or the generation.
I get having an old church, but sooner or later that church gonna have to die.
Pastors on the way
ain't
out.
gonna live forever.
Yeah, pastors on the way out, and half of them are on the way out.
Exactly. So if you don't have that inspring of fresh blood, what are you gonna do?
That's the thing. You got to have that youthfulness to keep it alive and to keep it going. But he's preaching not hellfire and brimstone, but he's preaching the actual doctrine. And he's like, you can't do this and you can't be doing that and all. And I was like, yeah, you don't hear that. And it's not.
No, because it'll affect
most
the
of
tithe.
the sermons. Yeah, most of the sermons.
We don't want to affect the tithe.
Yeah,
we gotta keep that money rolling, and we gotta make them feel good about themselves.
We don't want to offend anybody. I think that's really what it is. We just don't want to offend anybody.
And I love being offensive, so that's. I have a lot of grace and a lot of mercy for non-Christians because they don't know better.
No, non-Christians are not even on the radar for this. Not at all.
Don't care.
No, you can sit there and cuss and blaspheme Lord all you want to. I'm just going to be like, that's cool because the Bible says you're going to do it and you're dumb. Yeah. You're ignorant to it.
But when I hear a Christian do it, I want to rip off their face.
Right. And you hear a Christian do it. It's interesting because
I would turn into like Paul the Apostle and start stoning you. Blasphemy!
Hold my jacket.
I got one.
You got time?
One little metaphor, I guess. I don't know if you want to call it a metaphor. If you have a bag of fruit, let's say oranges. Why not? Orange is a fruit. Yeah, fruit. And one of them goes moldy in the bag. What happens if you don't take that out?
It starts to spread.
It spreads. And it affects all of them.
Yeah.
A sinful person who is proclaiming to be a Christian in your church is a moldy piece of fruit. And if you give them the option to change their ways and they don't do it, you got to pull them out of the bag.
Yeah.
And American churches aren't doing it. And that's why they're falling away.
That's interesting. Yeah. I guarantee that's everywhere.
It's not. I mean, there are churches that are not that, and they're in the prosperous.
We're not talking about that.
I'm not talking about like mega churches. I'm talking about there are churches out there who do it right, and they are a prosperous church.
Right.
But it's far and few between. But if you see closed doors on churches, it's because that church had too much sin in it, and nobody was addressing it.
Yeah, I can see that easily.
Turn off the stupid TV. Just turn it off. I mean, even if you just did it for 1 week, if a family, husband, wife, kids, and I'm speaking from experience because I've done it multiple times. If you just refuse to turn the TV on for 1 week, watch how closely tight-knit you become. You're forced to talk to each other.
I would start small because families aren't used to this. Like, you're different because your kids don't really branch out much.
I'm weird.
And wean yourself into this because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Screw it. The house is on fire. Turn off the TV. You ain't got time to do it small.
Turn it off for an evening and do something, but have something planned. Whether
Screw
it's
that
an
too,
activity.
man. Be spontaneous. Go
No.
crazy.
You're dealing with people who can't handle what you're talking about. We got to get it to where they can handle it. The parents will be the first ones to turn the TV back on because their kids will start talking to them.
Yeah.
They can't handle it. So wean yourself into it is my suggestion. You can say cold turkey if you think you can handle it.
See, for me to be extreme, it's not turning off the TV. For me, it's like throw the couch out. Sit on the floor. Because when you sit on the couch, it's over. You know, you're laying back, you're taking a nap, whatever, you don't care. You're getting lazy.
I mean, that's what you did though back in the day. If you
throw
weren't
the
reading
couch
a book,
out, turn off the TV.
yeah, but you
play-
got that. You
do a
got
board
that
game.
nice back porch. You sit, chill on, smoke a cigar, and watch everybody run around like idiots.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody's going to have every little thing, you know. You got to go where you're at. But right now, that TV is killing you, and it's killing your family.
Yeah.
The crap you listen to and the crap that you watch is affecting your soul, your very
Yeah.
soul. And Jesus said, if your right eye causes you to sin, it's better to pull it out.
Right.
Turn off the stupid TV.
I think the fact that if you've got kids or even if you're a spouse, the Bible study time is priority. It has to be a part of your life. Even if your kids hate every second of it, who cares? Normally when they grow up and get older and get on their own, they come falling right back into it. They go, okay, there was something there, you know, they'll jump right back into it. But you got to you got to have that Bible open in your home, and your kids need to hear you read the word. That was something that I had always thought. I was like, I don't think I've ever heard our family.
You can only start with just telling them the story. You can always read it and then regurgitate it in a story form to them. You don't have to read it word for word to them. They might get bored. They might not be listening to you. Instead of reading them the book of Jonah, tell them the story of Jonah and what happened. Same as Job. You're not going to read them the entire book of Job.
Read it. Well, you can read them passages and then go through the story and skip around. Yeah. Or have them read it to you or something. Yeah.
I mean, and there's a million YouTube videos out there on stories. The Bible Project has 5-minute videos, cartoon videos that explain a whole plethora of things.
Yeah, they're getting better too.
5 minutes, and you'll learn what you need to learn. I mean, it's like the best devotional you can do as a family.
Yeah. Now you're going back to turn the TV on, though.
Well, that's internet. You can just do it with a computer. A little laptop, little tablet, boom, done.
Oh, that's all.
Close it off.
TVs don't exist anymore, man.
That's all that exists. And I watch TV and I play video games and my kids watch TVs and I'm weird. I let my kids watch rated R movies, not like without me, of course. And I'm choosy on what.
Well, you have you have that Angel Networky thing, right?
Yeah,
or that,
we watched that too.
No, that deal that.
Oh, VidAngel.
VidAngel. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that no more.
Oh, okay.
It's good. Like it's getting better. But like the movies we want to watch weren't available on it yet. You have to wait even longer. It's just like I waited three months for this movie to become free, so now I gotta wait another 3 months for you guys to get the rights to it and so I can edit it. Yeah, so it's just kind of like that. But that was good. But like it's just like I'm not sheltering my kids from the world. They understand what homosexuality is. Mm-hmm. They understand what sex, drugs, rock and roll is. Mm-hmm. When my kids, because they all homeschool, when they leave my house and go into the world, they will be 100% properly prepared.
Yeah. They'll know how to chamber around and fire properly.
We were sheltered.
Yeah.
I got my first job. I learned all kinds of simple things I know nothing about, and I was going crazy.
Yeah.
So my kids aren't going to do that. My kids are going to be the most well-balanced, educated. Disney World. Girl has competition in Disney World, right? Coming up next month. She's 7. All her friends that are on this team are going to Disney World after their meet. There's the championship meet. Whether they win, lose, whatever, they're going to Disney World. How do I explain to my daughter that she's not going when all her friends are going to be going, right? Disney is the most sinful companies out there, and I won't give them a dime.
Yeah,
I don't buy their movies. Yeah. I don't rent their movies. They can eat it, right? The biggest progressive. I mean, they're all about genderfying kids and like they have so much homosexuality in their cartoons that don't belong there. They buy up everything. They own everything.
Yeah, they have the Lego. There's a big Lego deal right outside there.
So I'm talking to the daughter. I'm like, look, here's the truth. I was like, when you're watching a cartoon, do you like it when two boys kiss each other? She goes, no, it's disgusting. I'm like, Disney creates that for you as a child to make it to where it's normal for you to see that, and therefore you don't think it's bad anymore. She goes, why? I'm like, money, evil. Evil has no reason.
Satan?
Yeah. Evil's a very gluttonous God. It has no reason. So I explained it to her. I was like, so what do you want to do? If you want to go to Disney World, we'll take you to Disney World. But I need it to be your decision. I'm talking to a 7-year-old. Right? I mean, she still thinks it's funny when she farts in my face, which, that is kind of funny.
She's hilarious.
Yeah, she's savage. But it was her decision. And she's like, I don't need to go there. I was like, all your friends are going to go. And they're going to have a great time. There's going to be things there that you can't get anywhere else. There's events, things there in Disney World that you can't experience anywhere else. It's the only place you can experience it. She goes, that's evil. I don't want it. And I was like, okay, do you want to go to Legoland instead? She goes, yeah. So it was her decision. That's how I'm raising my kids.
There you go.
Do you want this? Do you want to make money doing this? You need to set your alarm clock at 6 a.m. If I go out there and do it, you're not getting paid nothing. I'm not going to make you do it. I need you to be self-motivated to get up and do this chore. Stuff like that. It's just like I would with an adult. Is how I'm raising my kids. How I talk to them like adults.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, they're not that.
I am slightly retarded. I'll give that. I don't know if it's like a smidgen of autism or whatever you want to call it. Apparently, I was not supposed to explain sexual intercourse with an 8-year-old boy. He asked me where babies come from. What do you mean, where they come from? They go, it comes from the mom in the womb.
It's very robotic.
He goes, yeah, but how does the baby come out? It comes out of her vagina. He's like, how does it get in there? I put it there. I explained it was like penis, vagina, like had a little chart there. Like penis, vagina, semen, ejaculation, cervix, womb, eggs, boom, baby. Comes right back out that same hole. Oh, wow. And then he goes back and tells mom. She goes, so dad put his penis in you and that's how you got the baby? She goes, she's freaking like, what? She goes, why would you say that? It's like, what? You want to know? How was I supposed to know? You're telling an 8-year-old boy how it all works.
Oh.
Yeah. One and done, buddy. Don't ever do it unless you're ready. Because that baby comes. It's yours now.
That's funny because I was watching some video today. It was a short, and it was Christina Ricci explaining, showing movies to her kids, and her kid was like enthralled with Jack Sparrow, and she's like, he's 5 years old. He's wanting to dress up. He's finding stuff around the house to look like him or that. And she's like, who is that guy? Who's that actor? She goes, well, mommy was in a video. He goes, I want to watch your movie with him. She's like, so that was the moment when I decided that the 5-year-old probably shouldn't watch Sleepy Hollow. Right? And she's asking, she's like, right? I mean, that's too young, right? Like she did not know. And I'm like, yeah, you just kind of have to gauge it for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm all about not sheltering my kids, but at the same time, not letting them be stupid.
Yeah.
I need you to make this decision, but you gotta have all the facts. Anyways, that's my rant. Be better, people. Be better.
Thanks for jumping on this one, and we will see you next time.
I hope I offended somebody.
I just cut you off before you finished. You should have.